Welcome back to our Rams Walk. It's 21 minutes of Derby City chat. No rosy frilly stuff this week. We're laying into the players because we've not been impressed with them at Watford this weekend. Hope you're doing well. Luke and Peyton have got a lot to get off their chest this week. We're missing Stace, of course, who's away with family, so we'll catch up with him next week. Also, this week we're talking about do we want to come up from League One, and the I to Z continues with the letter Q. This week we are talking about Lewis Travis in particular, and should he retain the captain's armband after yet another performance which has got a lot of Derby fans left scratching their head. Let's jump straight into it, shall we then, Luke? Welcome back, fresh back from Vicarage Road. Miles says Lewis Travis was Watford's best player. He needs the armband taken off him ASAP. He isn't very good. Is that too strong, Luke?
I'd say so, yes, because I think messing about with the captain this late on in the season is just going to mess with players' mentality, and it's just going to the dressing room just might not be a nice place to be. But yeah, he was a passenger for pretty much the entire game, and he's the bloke who's meant to be like screaming in the ref's ear, getting in the opposition players' ears in the face, and he was doing none of it at all. He wasn't doing anything, but it wasn't just him. There was a I don't I'm going to say now, we only had one decent player that game, and that was Vickers. Vickers, everyone else, it was shocking. It's the worst away performance we've had since when we lost at Oxford. It was so not us away from home. It wasn't us. That was like us at home, but it was away. It was so bad. No attacking threat, nothing at all. Couldn't string two passes, couldn't get to second balls. Watford wanted it more. It could have been a lot worse than 2-0. So fair play to Watford. They deserved the 3 points, but it was a really bad day at the office for us.
Lots agree with you. This one, Caden says, absolutely useless, worse than Oxford away. Trav needs to sort himself out. Honestly, WTF. Peyton, what do you put it down to, though? I mean, we had a bad result or decent-ish performance at home last time out, and then away from home you've been brilliant. How's this happened?
I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. We just looked like we didn't want it from minute one. We looked like the worst sides. It was silly stuff every time, silly clearances, silly jumping into tackles. Joe Ward did it a couple of times. We were looking to get away with it a minute earlier before they went and scored the first. And then again, poor positioning again from Ward. Got their winger free, put a good ball into the box, and then who knows what was happening in the defence to not clear the ball away. And then it fell to their striker, who just levered it as hard as he could into the middle of the goal. I think it was just really poor. We didn't look like we were up for the game. Looked like we'd been on about 2 hours sleep, if I'm honest, because not one player thought to look forward a lot of the time. I don't think Joe Ward played a forward pass all game, which is very unlike him. The only player in the attack I'd say that actually put a big effort in and looked like doing something was Ben Brereton Diaz, because every time he got the ball, he tried to look forward, but he just couldn't. There wasn't anyone there to pass to. So, yeah, it was just a poor overall performance, and I think I agree with Luke. It was lucky to just be a 2-0.
What about Lewis Travis for yourself, Peyton? Then, I mean, I've seen so many fans. I mean, he's been the poster boo boy, hasn't he, for a while, as we've pointed out in previous weeks. But some fans are saying, I don't want to see him as captain anymore. Our captain should either be the person shouting and screaming at people to raise their standards, or be a player himself, which is playing at the highest standards for other players to look at. And this guy's neither of them.
I don't think taking the armband off him is the right decision. At the end of the day, he's the captain. He's the captain for a reason, and we have seen it this season as to why Travis is the captain. He's had a poor run of games. Yeah, I will say that. He was really poor on Saturday against Watford. He was a passenger, as Luke said, which for a captain shouldn't be the case. And I think a lot of fans are making a comparison to Ibu Adams, in the sense of Adams would have been in that game doing something. But then I don't think you can compare them, because they are two different players, which is, I mean, it's fair enough for them to compare them. But yeah, I think no getting rid of the captaincy, though. Just keep it as it is for now.
Yeah. Our Pompey fans we speak to are absolutely delighted with Ibu Adams, by the way. It's just completely turned their season around. It doesn't make it any worse, better. for you to hear that. Ollie says, let's not start Travis next game because he's not very good. We have to start Clark over Schmodix's 2. Finley says, spineless performance. Never want to see Travis captain us again or start ahead of Clark. Terrible little of a footballer. Tell you what, it was toxic online for Lewis Travis this weekend. I hope he wasn't reading them. I mean, look, we don't call players out ourselves on here. We only highlight what other people are saying and ask these to agree with them. But let's not get too carried away, shall we? What about this Clark debate then, Luke? And bring Schmodix into it in a minute, and I'll get your view on how he started for you. But start Bobby Clark.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's been really unfortunate to drop out, and Sammy's come into that 10. I think Bobby Clark's a lot more creative than Sammy, what we've seen so far. And another thing as well is, on Saturday, the amount of times that ball was around the 10 area, or a little bit behind the 10, there was no one picking it up and retrieving the ball and going forward. Bobby Clark always picks the ball up and moves it forward, and we were just missing it. And he should have been coming on a lot earlier than he did. And Tuesday night against Hull, he needs to start 100%.
Yeah, what about Schmodix then for you? I mean, it's too early to judge, isn't it? But we've seen so many people say, what do we have? Yeah, Schmodix is generally not very good. It's a bit of a head loss, isn't it? That one after 2-3 games.
It's literally the Deion Sanderson again. Oh, come on, give it. We know what Sammy's like at this level. We've seen it. We've seen it under Eustace. He's a decent player. He's coming into this team where it's already established, and Bobby Clark's made his stamp. But obviously, John's going to play him because he's brought him in for a reason, and he's getting him game time. I think Bobby Clark needed a rest because he's played a lot of minutes. But there's a lot of players who do need a rest. Who maybe Sammy can take their position. But I think Sammy at Swansea at home, he didn't have a bad game. He looked quite lively, but yeah, at the weekend, everyone was poor. So you can't just you're pulling these names out because the new players, and people love to hate now that the John Eustace mates because they're from his old clubs. They're becoming new scapegoats. It's what Derby County fans do. I don't know why we do it. It was so strange. I just don't get it. But yeah, they deserve the stick for Saturday because none of them turned up, bar Vickers and maybe Ozo, which I don't know why he got subbed. He should have stayed on, in my opinion. But you can't write off Sammy yet at all because the quality has got him what he can bring to this team, and hopefully he proves people wrong, which I think he will.
Yeah, we can afford them some slip-ups, can't we, Payton, for the position we're in. If the manager got it wrong in his selection, he's got enough credit in the bank, hasn't he? I think you tell me if I'm wrong, but there's been a huge overreaction to this particular loss from what I've been reading and seeing online.
All I can say is welcome to the Derby County fan base. We love to overreact about every little thing. Every little thing is the worst thing to ever happen. We could draw to top of the league and someone would find a problem with it. We could win 5-0 and someone would find a problem with it because that's just what we do. We just complain. It's like, I don't think a lot of fans realise that we've only just been out of administration, really. We're still just coming out of it. Look at the difference between then and now, how much better the club is. And we're back where we were when we had all that money. Well, we didn't have the money, but when we were spending all that money, we're back exactly where we were, just outside the playoffs, pushing for the playoffs. I don't think there should be any flat towards the manager at all. Not one bit. I think the players, for that performance on Saturday was awful, and they should be sat there not happy with themselves for it. But then John Eustace came out in the press and wasn't happy with the performance either. So if the manager's not happy with it, then I think everyone else can accept that we got it wrong. We go again Tuesday. We go again next Saturday against Blackburn. We're there. We're in and around it. We're not out of it yet. We're not 6 points away. We're I think it's a point off 6th now. Other teams are slipping up as well. I think just patience. There's still 14 games to play. Just take some time.
And you would have taken 8th, Payton, wouldn't you, if I offered you at the start of the season?
Yeah, I'd be happy with 8th. I did say 6th at the start of the season, and I'm still kind of hoping we just kind of get in there so I get proved right. But mid-table, I would not complain for. I'm happy we're not scrapping there down the bottom. I'm happy to see incredible footballers at Derby again. You know, we had some great players in the time between, but we not had a footballer who could come and produce magic out of nothing like we have now, like Morris, Ajimang, you know, all those players that we have now that we couldn't have had 2-3 years ago. It's such a resurgence, and I'm just looking forward to the future, to be honest. If we get playoffs, push for promotion, happy days. If we don't, we go again next season.
We had a comment, Luke, on here last week from David. Hi, David, and please come on, David, and have a chat with us. And it was mainly basically saying that, well, he called said that you were on another planet, and are you the manager's son or something? He said the manager's the most boring person he's ever come across on press conferences. Ever think he's on a pound bonus every time he uses the word family? We're talking about the different pods as well. That he wants us to be playing better football, and this is one of the worst styles of football that he's ever seen. Do you get his point on either of those things at all? That he's saying that we need to debate that this isn't all flowers and roses. It's not all great. That the football is awful, and the home form is the worst he's remembered in a long time. Has he got a point?
The home form, yeah. I mean, it's we know we're poor at home. It's not like we've got rose-tinted glasses on. We know we're poor at home, but it's not the worst home form he's ever seen because he clearly didn't watch us in the Premier League because he didn't win one game at home. So that was worse than this. But with John, like being how he is in in press conferences and post-match interviews and pre-match interviews, that's how I want him to be. I don't need no like happy, smiling, joking manager. I want someone who is just down to business and just talks about the football, and that's all he needs to do. And I think his post-match on Saturday was absolutely bang on. He said they wanted it more. We were poor, and he actually came out and said it, which I thought fair play, John. You've said it. Like a lot of managers will just say, "We're a bit unlucky today. We didn't get the rub of the green. We'll go again and all this." But no, he said we was poor and we was poor. But yeah, I do agree with him about the home form. It is poor, but that away form is what's keeping us up there. And I know the home form is bad, but I'd rather have this poor home form and the away form we've got now, which is decent, to the absolute trot we had when we had half that League One side last year. So yeah, I do agree. I don't agree, but everyone's got an opinion, haven't they? So this is how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we love we love all comments. We read all of them. I know all the other podcasts just don't. So, yeah, we love reading them in the lunch break. So, yeah, let us know your thoughts on that one. Just to clarify, Luke, you are not John Eustace's son, are you?
Absolutely not. Also, I'll be begging him to play in that number 9 or anywhere. Just give me a game, please. But no, I am not John Eustace's son. I can vouch for that.
Brilliant. That did make us laugh, though. Right, cheers. Right. If we do stay in the Championship next season, then we're having a look at League One. Who do we want as an away day coming up, Peyton? Got Cardiff and Lincoln probably already on their way there, but who would you like as a nice away day for Derby if you are staying in the division?
I had a look at the table earlier, and I can't lie, I really want Bradford to go up. I think it'd be really good to see Bradford in the Championship. Just they've got a nice ground. They're a historic club, and they've just got a bit about them. And it does help that Caden Jackson plays for them, so that might help us a little bit.
Okay, Luke, how about you?
I'd tell you, I've got a really soft spot for Huddersfield Town. I love that away trip. It's not far. Great pubs, decent little ground. Always have decent games when we're there. So yeah, I'd like to see Huddersfield back because that's always a cracking away day.
Cool. And of course, you're keeping one eye on the Premier League relegation, won't you, as well? I'm sure both of you. Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that next week as to whether you would want the Derby back in the Championship next season.
100%.
Yeah, or is some Derby fans say, "Oh no, don't give it me. I hate that game when it comes around." Is it something you would relish?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to relish it. I mean, it's Derby Day. Yeah, if they come down, they're going to have a lot better side than we are and be absolutely favourites. But I mean, it's about the occasion, isn't it? Anything can happen on Derby Day. It's just one of them great days in football where you're with your mates. You've got mates who are Forest fans, but on that day you absolutely despise each other. You're in group chats with each other. You're giving each other all sorts of things are flying about. But no, it's just a great day for everyone. And yeah, as much as it nerves you on the day, it's always a great day, and I'd love to have it every season. So yeah, absolutely for me.
We're up to our A to Z then of Derby County. We hit the letter Q though. Thanks for your comments on letter P last week. That was really helpful. We didn't get any for Q though. I'll just double check. Have we got anything here, fellas?
Absolutely zero from me. Not a clue.
I did some research. I've got 2.
Okay.
So there was a goalkeeper that Stace mentions. I think his name's Andy Koi. I don't know how to say it. Quy. He never played for the senior team, but he was there. And then another one who also didn't play for the senior team was Mickey Quinn, who was a striker in the 80s. He was half decent in the first division. Played now under 18s, so didn't play for the senior team, but serviceable player. So that's 2 of them, I think.
I think Pompey have already put him in theirs, and Coventry also have put him in theirs as well. So it would go 3 for 3 if you wanted. I had no idea about the goalkeeper, but Mickey Quinn was
I
that.
will say, if having Q, what about a questionable decision?
Okay.
Till this day, it still drives me nuts when Miles Addison has scored a header against Forest and Stuart Atwell has disallowed it for absolutely sod all. He just said, nope, that's not a goal. He's not near no players. He's headed it cleanly. There's no one even saying, what's he doing? Arm up, flag up, nothing. Atwell was like, no goal. Why?
Okay. That sounds a good one. We'll put that in.
I like that.
Yep. Questionable decision. Fantastic.
Yep.
Good news. Next week they're on to R, S, and T in the coming weeks, so that should be a lot more straightforward. So join us for that conversation next week. We're also looking back, of course, on the whole game this Tuesday night. Join us for that chat, and of course we've got the game against Blackburn. They're ready to bring their plastic snakes back to Pride Park once again against anti-John Eustace chance as well. They're looking good, Blackburn, though, at the moment. They have got a very good away record. Not as good as yours, but nearly. Should be an interesting game. We'll give our reviews on all of that next week. Pop your comments in the chat. Help us out if you think of a player begin with R, and we'll see you all in 7 days' time. Derby is still on the march. It's not over yet. See you then.